It has been so long since I sat down in front of a camera and filmed a video, so I might be a little bit nervous right now and talking many different accents throughout this entire video, so please ignore that. Also, I am filming this an hour before the sun sets, so if the lighting changes a lot, that is why, but at least you'll have some golden hour lighting for this video. So, anyways, oh, now that I have gotten all that out of the way, I should probably do my outro right now. Anyways, had a little bit of, I don't do my intro for a month, and this is where it gets me. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. It's me, Caitlin Marie. So, I haven't posted in like about a month. Actually, how long has it been? Today is July 1st. And the last time I uploaded a video was literally almost a month ago, June 3rd. And then before that, I posted on May 18th. So, in about a month and a half, I have posted one video. So today I'm coming back to kind of explain to you guys where I've been, what's been going on, and why I have not been posting. So buckle up. This is probably going to be a really long video because I have a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss. There's going to be a lot of deep, hard topics in this video. So if you are not in the right mindset to talk about deep and dark discussions, I would say click out of this video and then just watch my other videos and come back next week when I have an actual positive video for you guys. But yeah, so I guess I should just get started with this then. I don't know how long it was, but I posted a quarantine chit chat get ready with me probably like 3 months ago. 2, maybe 3 months ago I posted that video, and I was talking about how I started becoming depressed in quarantine. And I talked about, you know, my confidence and self-esteem and how it was not the best and how it was rapidly declining for many, many reasons over a portion of like a couple weeks. And after I posted that video, I was doing okay for a little bit. For about a month, I was doing okay. You know, I was just doing stuff I love, posting videos on TikTok, obviously making YouTube videos. I literally was making probably like 2 or 3 videos a week, and just kind of living with my friends in my apartment and just kind of like living life, not really worried about, you know, like I wasn't trying to be worried about all this like COVID and everything, and I wasn't trying to put negative thoughts in my head or anything. So I was doing okay for about a month after I posted that video. And then the beginning / middle of May is when everything kind of started to go downhill for me. Out of nowhere, I just became super, super, super depressed. What kind of started it was me and my friends get into like stupid little fights all the time. Sometimes we won't talk to each other for a couple of days, but then we talk for like a couple hours and we discuss everything that's been like on our minds and like what's been going on, and we apologize, you know, we talk through it, we're all friends again. So we had one of those at like the middle of May, and that's kind of when everything started to just like go downhill for me. So kind of like the beginning / middle of May, we had a little mini argument. We weren't talking for like a week, and then after that we were okay. And then all of my friends actually started to move back home with their families and everything because everything started opening up. And the virus wasn't as strong as it has been. So they went back to their families and just kind of spent time with them. And I was here at my apartment by myself again for a little bit. And at first I was doing okay. I started doing like Chloe Ting workouts and, you know, just doing TikToks and doing makeup, stuff that makes me happy. But then like out of nowhere, I just got these really dark thoughts. And I really don't even know how to describe it. Like, it literally comes from nowhere. Like, out of nowhere, I was contemplating suicide. I was laying in bed for days on end. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't get up and shower. I wouldn't do my makeup or my hair. The only thing I would really do was get up and take my dog for a walk because obviously I had to. So that was the only thing I was doing for a couple days straight, and I couldn't really get myself, I wouldn't say I was like, I mean, I was depressed. I was just basically in like a rut. And I didn't know how to get myself out of it. I started pushing everybody away, all of my friends. I wasn't really talking to like my family as much. And I was just laying in bed, just scrolling on social media, trying to distract myself, and then taking hour-long naps. And then that was my day for, you know, a little bit. I did end up working. I did start working, I think, what was it, Mother's Day? And that kind of started to help me gain back my happiness a little bit. Because if you know me, you know that I work to distract myself, and it does work. I stopped thinking about like all my personal shit and everything. I just kind of focus on like my job, what I have to do to, you know, make customers happy and, you know, get the most money. So I was doing okay from working, but I had these thoughts that I couldn't get out of my mind. I hated literally everything about myself. As I said, I would watch TikToks for hours and lay in bed and just pick apart everything that I hated about myself and just compare myself to all these other girls on TikTok, and literally just picking apart everything about myself, my hair, my face, my stomach, my thighs, literally everything that I could pick apart, I did. And it wasn't healthy at all because I wasn't talking to anybody about this. I kept it inside and nobody knew what I was going through for a while. I mean, I did eventually start talking to people about it, but at first oh, it was a child. I was like, what the fuck was that? But I didn't really want to bother anybody with what I was going through because I know everybody else in the world is going through their own issues while under quarantine, so I didn't want to bother anybody else, which is definitely not something I should have done at all. I know now that if I have any sort of like doubt or like depression or sadness or whatever, I always talk about it with at least one person, and that usually helps me out of my rut, basically. But at the time, I didn't really want to talk to anybody, and it's nothing against anybody that was in my life or that is in my life. I didn't want to talk to anybody. The only thing I wanted to do was just lay in bed and just forget everything, basically. And it's not even like anything was really going on, like nothing bad was going on in my life at the time. Little did I know. But these thoughts were just overpowering, and I was just overthinking everything, and I couldn't get my thoughts to stop being so negative. So that was me for about a week, and then just one day randomly I woke up and I was okay. Like, not 100% okay, but I was doing a lot better than I was. I actually got out of the house, which helped my mood and my mental health so much. So this is a lesson for y'all. If y'all are just sad for literally no reason at all, just get out of the house, go for a drive, go for a walk, just get out, breathe in some fresh air, and I promise you'll feel better so much soon. But yeah, so I forced myself to go out of the house and just do something, and it started to make me feel a little bit better. And so I was doing okay for a little bit, and then one night I got a text from my sister, and basically she told me that she did not want to move down to Texas anymore. If you don't know, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment because me and my sister were supposed to move in before this whole COVID crap started. And then she kept pushing the date back because she didn't really have the money to fly out here with all of her stuff and everything. And we finally set on a date of March 16th. She was supposed to come out here, but then that was when everything kind of shut down in Texas, at least for us. So she was just like, all right, well, guess I can't really come down now, so I'll just try and save a little bit more money and we'll figure something out soon. So she texted me and she was like, I don't think I want to move down there anymore. It's just not something that I really want to do. She feels happy where she is right now with her work, with her friends, and everything that she has. And I'm completely happy for her that she decided not to come down here and stayed where she was happy at. And of course I was really upset for a while because I was like, well, now I kind of have to find like another roommate. And I was also really excited to move in with my sister because I haven't, lived with her in a really long time, so I thought it was going to be really fun to, live with my sister again. But, so I was really bummed out about that for a while, but then I talked to one of my best friends, and she decided that she was going to move in. And we discussed that, talked about it. She was like, yeah, I should be able to afford it. We can do that. And we set on a date for her to move in. She was supposed to move in June 14th. So like every now and then I would go out with my friends, do stuff, take pictures, go to IKEA or go out to eat or whatever that we were doing. And we would just, spend some time together, chill out, have some fun. And I didn't realize at the time, but like after probably 2 weeks, so probably like a week before one of my best friends was supposed to move in, all of my friends started acting like really weird and wouldn't like message me as much. And then when we would hang out, we wouldn't hang out for as long as we were used to. And at this point, my thoughts kind of came over myself again, and I just got really depressed for no reason at all. I just had really negative thoughts, and I was contemplating suicide again. And again, I was just stuck in a really weird rut for no reason at all. I didn't know why. I couldn't get myself out of it. I told my entire friend group that I was not really feeling myself. I was having these like sad thoughts, just going through a lot, and they started to kind of help me through it a little bit, but for some reason I just couldn't shake these negative thoughts for whatever reason. So but we were still hanging out, we were still doing our thing, but we weren't hanging out like we used to. Like it just felt different, and I just thought maybe it was my depression. Like I couldn't get myself as happy as I used to be around them. So I didn't really think anything of it. I just kind of thought it was, my depression. I wasn't really happy and I was forcing myself to be happy. Okay, never mind, I lied. So that was 2 weeks before she was supposed to move in. I started feeling depressed and everything again. So now we are moved up to about a week before she's supposed to move in, and I get a text from her and she says, hey, are you working tonight? And I was like, yeah, I work at 4. Why, what's up? And she was like, can we talk? I told her, yeah. I was like, I'm getting ready for work right now, but if you want to come over and just talk for like 20 minutes before I go into work, we can do that. And I asked her, I was like, what's up? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? And she never answered me. So about an hour after she texted me, her and my 2 other friends that are in our friend group, they come over, and the one friend that was supposed to move in with me, she tells me that she is not moving in with me anymore. She basically just said that she thought she could afford it, and now she doesn't think she can afford it, and she just doesn't want like the responsibility of that anymore. So of course I immediately get like super upset, because at that point in my life, that was the only thing that was keeping me up and keeping me like the slightest bit happy. That was the only thing that I could look forward to, because at the beginning of the year I wanted to start traveling and make all these plans with my friends, and we literally made so many plans for this year. Like, we were supposed to go to California, and before all the corona stuff happened, we made plans to take like 2 little small road trips. um so it was just, at this point, life was just like, no, you're not going to have any plans. You're going to be stuck in your house for God knows how long. You can't hang out with anybody. You can't go see your family. You can't do this. You can't do that. Basically, 2020 is just going to suck. So that was just kind of my mentality at the time. And when she told me that, I was just like, well, now what am I supposed to do? My sister doesn't want to move in with me. My best friend doesn't want to move in with me. I'm literally living by myself. I have been living by myself for like about 3 months at this point. And it was just, it was so lonely and so depressing just being by myself all the time. I don't know how people who live by themselves, how they were doing it throughout this whole quarantine, because it's really lonely being by yourself and having nothing to keep you happy and keep you positive, because nobody knew when it was going to end. So it wasn't like we had a date that we could look forward to everything opening back up, everything going back to normal. And it was just, so basically I've just been really, really lonely, and I just feel like I haven't had anybody to talk to. But, so anyways, after that, I kind of gave her like a little bit of an attitude, but I didn't really mean to. It was just my upset thoughts coming out, and basically they all took it the wrong way and just kind of walked out of my apartment, and that was the end of that. And as soon as I heard them walk out, I immediately lost it. I started bawling my eyes out because I literally had lost everything. At this point, I felt like I lost everything in my life. I didn't have anything to look forward to at all. I wasn't happy with anything in my life. I couldn't find happiness with anything in my life, and every time that I had like an ounce of happiness, something was always there to just take it away. And so I just felt so low at this point and so lonely, and I didn't know who to talk to. Even if I could talk to, I didn't really think I could talk to anybody. But I sat on my closet floor and I just bawled my ass out for probably like 15 minutes. And my thoughts were really, really getting to me at this point. Like, I was contemplating on not going to work and basically doing something that I shouldn't do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I was contemplating suicide, like, even more than I ever have at that point. I did not want to be alive anymore because I literally had no happiness left in my life at all. And I felt so low, and I couldn't do anything to get out of it. But I called my sister because I haven't talked to her in a really long time, and I wanted to hear somebody's voice that I know would lift me up and that I know was familiar. So I called her, and I'm still like bawling, and I basically tell her that I don't want to be alive anymore, that I hate my life, and that everybody basically hates me, everybody's leaving my life, nobody wants to be around me anymore. I was just saying these so many negative thoughts. I've always been the type of person to be extremely happy and just be so silly and goofy and just so positive, and I rarely ever have a negative bone in my body. I always hear I'm such a positive ray of sunshine and whatnot. So she knew that something was wrong, and she kind of talked me through it and tried to, lift my spirits up a little bit. And she basically just told me to just like calm down, stop thinking about everything that you're thinking about. And she told me to spend the night with my parents that night, because when she was going through a really hard time, just talking to my parents would help her out a lot. So she told me to just kind of go spend the night with my parents that night, and I did. So I went to work and I was just super upset, wasn't really talking to anybody, and just kind of, waiting until the hour that I was off the clock. So I come back to my apartment that night, I pack up a bag, and I take my dog with me, and I go to my parents that night. I didn't tell them what was wrong because I didn't want them to worry, and I just kind of, just talked to them for a little bit and made me a little bit happy. So I was like, okay, maybe I literally just needed a night with my family. So the next day I wake up and I'm still feeling really, really, really lonely and just really low. And my friend invited me to go out to lunch. So I go out to lunch with her, and she's also trying to like cheer me up a little bit. And then we went to Target, just kind of chilled out there. Had to do a little bit more grocery shopping. So I came back to my apartment, made a little bit of a list, and I saw a tweet on Twitter from my friend who was supposed to move in, basically just talking shit about something so stupid that basically started this whole big argument between our friend group. So I saw that, and I kind of lost my shit, and I just kind of ranted on Snapchat. All three of my friends in my friend group saw that Snapchat story, and one of my friends ended up blocking me on every social media. The other two didn't block me, they just kind of tweeted talking shit about me again. And literally for no reason. Like, I still to this day do not know what I did to deserve the talking shit about me on Twitter, but it's, it's whatever. Girls will be girls, I guess. So I see that they blocked me and that they started posting really hurtful stuff about me on Twitter. And at that point, it kind of felt like they were just like done with me and done with my friendship. For whatever reason, I don't really know why, don't know what I did wrong, but this really, really affected me. It really, really hurt me and just brought me down so incredibly low. Like, I was already extremely low at this point, but I think at this point I hit rock bottom, and I had just gotten back from grocery shopping, and that's when I saw that. So I came back to my apartment, brought all my groceries up, I brought all my groceries up, and I take a knife and a bottle of Tylenol, and I went and sat in my bathtub and just listened to a really sad playlist. And at first I just sat there and listened to really depressing songs for a little bit. And then I just kind of snapped, and I took the knife and I started self-harming myself. I, in my life, have never thought that I would be so low to the point where I would self-harm myself. Like I've been through my fair share of sad times and upsetting things and fights and arguments with so many people, but I've never felt this low in my entire life. This was the lowest I've ever been. This was my rock bottom. And as I was doing it, I was crying as hard as I ever have because I knew it was wrong and I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I just didn't care. I honestly did not want to be alive anymore because I truly didn't think I had anything else in this life to live for. And my thoughts were just not good at all. So eventually I called my friend who I was out with earlier and told her what I did, and she immediately dropped everything that she was doing and drove down here to come be with me. And mind you, she lives probably like 40 minutes away, so it is quite a drive for her. And I told her I didn't want her driving that long just to come be with me, like I'll be okay. And she straight up told me no. She was like, I'm coming to be with you right now. You need me. You need somebody there right now for you. So she came and she stuck with me on the phone the entire time she was driving just to make sure, I was okay and I didn't do anything else. And she stayed with me for like 2 hours and we just kind of talked a little bit, and it felt nice to have somebody there who cared about me, because at that point I didn't think anybody did, which is really stupid, but that was just my thoughts. So after that, I told her that I needed to be with my family, and she agreed. So she walked me to my car, and I drove to my parents' house, and I went up to my mom and I showed her the cuts on my arm, and I just bawled my eyes out. God, this is really hard to talk about. She immediately grabbed me and pulled me into her room, and my dad followed. And I've never seen my dad cry. At least, I've never seen him cry that hard. My dad was holding me as tight as he could, and they sat there and they talked to me for, God, it feels like forever, but they just sat me down and told me that it wasn't worth it for me to take my own life over some people who clearly don't care about me. Crying over them, harming myself over them, it wasn't worth it. And in a few months, all of this will be over, and none of this will even be worth it anymore. And even though I was at my lowest at that point, there will come a time where I will have my highs and be the happiest I've ever been in my life. I don't really normally talk to my parents about like my personal life. I'm just not, like, I'm close to my parents, but I'm not like super close to my parents. I've always been closer to friends. So I think that's why it hurt me so much and took such a toll on myself, because those girls were literally my entire life. I would do everything with them. I would text them every single day. We would FaceTime so much. And I just told them everything about my life. Literally every single thing that has ever gone in my life, I told them about. And that's literally, that was my second family. It was just really hard losing all of them, because it felt like if the closest people in my life don't care about me anymore, then why should I even care about me anymore? And it was just, it was such a dark time. That was June 9th. That was the first day that I have ever self-harmed. And that was the lowest day of my life. And since then, I spent the last 3 weeks basically living at my parents'. I brought clothes there, I brought food, I brought my computer. I literally was living with my parents for 3 weeks. And sometimes I would come back and forth to my apartment to like get a couple things and whatnot, but I've basically been living with my parents for the last 3 weeks. I would have good days, and then I would have really bad days. And basically every night for like the past 3 weeks, or every day for the past 3 weeks, I cried. Literally every single day for the past 3 weeks, I cried. I cried at work. I cried in my car. I cried in the shower. I cried in front of people. I cried by myself. I was just not me. I was not living. I was in a shell and just forcing myself to live, pretty much, because I didn't want to live. So I was just kind of forcing myself throughout the days. And I tried to still do stuff that I love, like making TikToks and doing makeup, but most of the time it would only distract me for a little bit, and then I would continue my negative thoughts and everything. But I did grow a little bit throughout like the 3 weeks of living with my family. I think I really just needed to be around people for a little bit, because I was by myself for so long that I was so deep in all of these negative thoughts that I couldn't get myself out of. So I think I just needed to be around people, and I cannot thank my family enough for being there for me, because the people who I thought would weren't. And it was just a really sucky time. Every day sucked, but I somehow pulled myself out of it. I texted the 3 of my friends, our group, on, what was it, June 22nd, I believe it was. And I asked them if we could talk, because I wanted closure. If they were going to just throw me out of their lives, I wanted to know why. I wanted to know what I did and if I could have fixed it, because I really did not want to lose them. Even after the way they treated me, I still did not want to lose them, because they have been there for 5 years of my life, and I really didn't want to throw all of that away over some stupid argument. So I go over there that night, and we're standing outside, and I wrote a paragraph. I don't think I still have it. Actually, let me see if I have it. Okay, so I still have it in my notes. I'm not going to show the whole thing because I don't really want to show you guys what I told them, but I'm just going to show you guys how long it is. So that is the note that I basically wrote to them, and I read all of that out, and then we just kind of started talking. I told them, I was like, let me know y'all's thoughts, and basically all they were doing is just shitting on me for one stupid little thing that really isn't even that big of a deal, but they blew it way out of proportion. And to this day, I still think it's about something bigger, but they're not really telling me anything. So they were really just focused on this one thing, and they had nothing at all to say about me self-harming myself, having suicidal thoughts, me being depressed. They had literally nothing to say about that. So I eventually just walked off, got my car, and drove off, because I wasn't going to let them just shit on me and hate on me and not listen to anything that I had to say. So I texted them saying that whenever they were ready to listen to what I have to say, to let me know, and then I'll come back. After that, I drove around for a little bit because I was extremely mad and just pissed off. I wasn't even sad. I was just extremely pissed off at the fact that they literally did not care about anything that I had to say. So I just drove around for a little bit, tried to cool off, and I came back to my apartment by myself and picked up the knife again and started self-harming myself again. And when I did it this time, I wasn't even crying because I don't think I felt anything anymore. I don't think I felt anything. And I think that is the saddest part of this entire story, is that I literally felt absolutely nothing at that point. So that's how you know that I truly had nothing else in this life. And I called a friend, a different friend this time, but I called a friend and texted them. And then I just went home, and my parents were already asleep at this time, and I was up for like another hour because I couldn't go to sleep because all of my thoughts were just overpowering me again. So I was just kind of staring into nothing until I eventually fell asleep. That night, literally the second that I left, I found out that they all had blocked me on every social media: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, everything. They blocked me on everything. So now I know their intent is that they just kind of threw me away. So after that, I don't think I was really even sad anymore because I got my thoughts out. So I let them know how I felt. But I'm not going to continue to sit here and let myself be sad and upset and depressed and just continue to tear myself down when I did nothing wrong. Although I'm not a perfect person, I do make mistakes. I do wrong things and say wrong things. And I have done wrong things to them in the past. But right now in this present time, I truly do not think I did anything wrong. So I'm not going to continue to let them get to me like that anymore. And I started just focusing on myself. I started going back to the gym, and I already see a difference in my body, and I am so incredibly proud of myself for making that decision to start bettering my physical health and my mental health. I am trying to start eating better. I'm still not eating the greatest because I'm not eating as much, obviously, because I'm still, but I'm working on myself. I'm starting to do things again that make me happy, such as, making TikTok videos and making YouTube videos, obviously. And I'm just surrounding myself with people that I love and people that I know love me. I've gotten so many messages from people that I work with, from people who have been in my past who I'm not really close to anymore, but I still occasionally talk to, and even people I've never even talked to before, but I have on Snapchat. I've gotten so many messages of people just giving me love and support and kindness, and I cannot thank you guys enough for all of the love and support you guys have been giving me this past week alone. It's been really hard, and there's also been other issues that I won't really go into because they don't really tie into this, but there are other issues going on that have been adding on to this. So it's just been really shitty this past month and a half, and just getting all those messages and love just makes my heart so incredibly happy. And it's good to see that there's actually people out there that do care. And I'm not saying that my friends don't care anymore, but it seems like they don't really care anymore. So at this point, I'm just going to let them do themselves, and I'm going to focus on me and what I love and what makes me happy. And maybe if they reach out and they want to talk and they want to fix things, they want to apologize, we'll see what happens then. But from now on, I am taking care of myself, and I'm not going to trust as easily anymore because of this whole situation. It's going to take me a while to fully get back to myself, but I do feel myself getting back to my regular self, and I'm just really happy to see where everything goes on from here. So, goodness, I feel so drained right now. If you're going through anything like me, whether it's friends, family, or just personal stuff that you're going through, if you feel extremely low, like you never have before, if you feel like you've hit rock bottom, if you feel like you are having suicidal thoughts or any kind of depressive thoughts or lonely thoughts or just sad thoughts, please, 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 please reach out to somebody, anybody. If you think you don't have somebody, you do. There's always somebody who will be there to listen, no matter if you've known them for years or you have never talked at all. There's somebody always there willing to listen. And if nobody is there to listen, I'm here. My Instagram DMs are always open. I am always willing to talk to anybody about anything. I will never judge anybody for the color of their skin, what they're going through, any disabilities, their age, their weight. I don't judge anybody because everybody always has something going on, and nobody should feel better than anybody else, and nobody should judge anybody for anything. So I'm always here to listen if you need somebody to talk to, or if you just need to rant. I will be here. That's kind of the main reason why I like doing social media, because I like doing YouTube because I want to be that distraction for people when they're upset or they're going through something really tough or hard, because YouTube has got me through so many tough times throughout my life. So I want to be that influence on somebody else. Even if it's just one person, 5 people, 20 people, 50,000 people, I want to influence people in a good way, and I want to use my voice to speak up about topics like mental health, depression, anxiety, and whatnot. So that is what my platform is here for. I am all about love and positivity and no judgment. But yeah, so if you ever need anybody, I will be here. My Instagram and any other social media will be linked down below for you guys to reach out to me. And if you're about to do something you know you will regret, please don't. You are here on this earth for a reason. You are loved by so many people. You have, oh wow, I'm getting super emotional. You were put here on this earth for a reason. You have a purpose. You were meant to be on this earth. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that I love you so freaking much. You are beautiful, handsome. You are so freaking smart. And if people don't think that, fuck them. Who cares? They're probably going through a shitty time in their life too. You know, it really sucks that people have to sit here and bully other people. But what I've always heard is hurt people, and it sucks, and that should not be justified at all, but that's the truth. If you are truly happy with yourself, you do not ever feel the need to bring anybody down. And if you do feel a need to bring somebody down, then you clearly have issues that you're not talking about. I know this kind of subject is really hard to talk about for a lot of people, and if a year ago you would tell me that all these events would happen and I would be willing to put it out onto the internet, I would not believe you at all. Literally a year ago I kept everything to myself and only put out positive things on the internet, but I do have this platform where I can tell people about what's going on in my life and spread word, and sometimes you just have to talk about the bad things to kind of shed light on the good things. Not all the time you're gonna be happy. There is gonna be some hard times in life, and you're gonna go through some hard shit, and life sucks sometimes, but just know that you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. And even though things in life happen that sucks, there's always going to be those good times that will bring you up. And I'm starting to notice that life is getting so much better for me, and I'm feeling a lot better about myself. And today was, again, today's July 1st, and today was the first day in about a month that I did like a full face of makeup, and I just felt so good about myself. So if you're going through a hard time, just find a hobby that you really like and just kind of go with that. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking, stop rambling. Just know that I love every single one of you so incredibly much, and you are so loved. You deserve to be here. You will get through it. There are better days coming, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. When you ever freaking know, make sure to give this video a like if you liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell so you never miss when I post. Make sure to always stay grateful, thankful, and positive, and I will see you guys next Monday. I promise I will actually be back. I love you.